Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
This entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. Threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gabfest show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. If when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Join Terry Tracer Rounds every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern to hear interviews with veteran artists, veteran business owners, and businesses that support veterans. Catch us on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and MB Radio. If you miss a show, you can listen again on Wreaths Across America, 3 p.m. Eastern. Tune in to see if you are on target. MBR, giving veterans a voice.
Hi, and welcome to the Tracer Rounds podcast, and you're on Military Broadcast Radio. And my guest tonight is William Person, and he is from Team USA, was a bobsledder, and you also did track too.
Yeah, track and field.
Yeah. So welcome, William. So we talked before the show, and I am so impressed. I don't even know where to start, honestly, because there's just so much to unpack here. But I want to welcome you to the show, and I want our listeners to kind of understand a little bit where you come from, maybe a little bit about your background and how you got started as an athlete, and then how you progressed maybe to the Olympic team, if you don't mind.
Okay. Well, yeah, first of all, thanks for having me on here.
Absolutely.
I mean that with all my heart. Oh. So, well, actually, sports for me started when I still remember the day I was in the car. It's like, where we going? I said, get your shoes. I didn't know where we were going. We show up to this place, Florissant Valley Community College. Next thing you know, I'm on the starting lineup for the 50-meter dash.
Oh, wow.
I hadn't trained or anything, and all these kids were standing around, and the runner says, take your mark, get set. He shot the gun. Everybody took off running except me. I'm still looking around, and I'm just like, and then all of a sudden I said, oh, they're running. So I start running, and I catch everybody except one guy, and he just barely nudged me out. And my dad said, he's going to be my track star. But my dad he made a mistake. He picked the wrong guy, because he started waking me up on the weekends like it's snow outside. He's like, hey, go put on your boots and run around the block in the snow. It's like, run around the block? Fun was gone, man. I was like, I don't want to do that. Yeah. So I quit. But when I turned 11, I wanted to run track so bad. I found a team. It was like 5 miles away. So I'm 11 years old. I walk to practice with the team. It's dark, and I'm walking back home. It was a different time, so don't judge my family. So it was a different time. So yeah, after that, I was 11. My last championships in 2007, which I won. So which I'm happy to say I left on a high note.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. So I didn't win any money for anything, but I won.
but you won being recognized for that.
Yeah, I'm just teasing. Yeah. absolutely. There was never any money in that sport. This is something you do because you love your country.
Right.
No other reason. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So that's how I got started. Which and after my high school career was I wanted to keep running. I only had one choice: quit, or go to college so you can keep running. And that's where my journey started. And next thing I know, I'm running track in college. After that, I'm working in mental health. And then I started doing these, like you see the movie Jerry Maguire, Any Given Sunday. I was the guy they hired to put the uniform on, and you see me running down the field. Those weren't really football players. It was just me, making it look like that. And yeah, life was great. Life was great. Yeah.
So you ran track, and what events did you run in track? What were your strong suits, or what was your preference to run?
200, 400, mainly long jump. The long jump was my specialty.
How far could you jump?
So that's what I mainly do. Man, I've been all over the place. That thing, so it kicked my butt. Like I had times where I was playing with the 28-foot range, but I fouled so much. If you cross that line, it doesn't count. And so I signed with this guy named Tom Doyle. He was training at Arizona State, so I went down there, and man, all of a sudden, like it's the first time I ever trained as a real sprinter. He took me from like a 1050, 100 meters to like a 10.1.
Wow.
My 40 time went from like 4.5 to a 4.23. And now I had all this speed. And when I put it back with the long jump, it didn't work together at all. And that was the end of the career. Track career was gone after that. But it opened the door for movies. That's how I wound up in Jerry Maguire, Any Given Sunday.
Wow.
And yeah. So it was just that path changed for me. But it was all about running fast.
Yeah. It sounds like you really were.
Yeah, I wish I could still do it.
Right. I bet you could. I bet you could still be pretty much bullet.
Yeah, one time after that, my mama snapped a knee off or something. I need to. I can still move, but yeah.
So how did you get into bobsledding from track? Because it doesn't seem like a likely connection or correlation. So can you tell us how you made that leap from the track to bobsledding?
Well, I was on that movie set, Any Given Sunday, and I was asking myself, what am I doing here? My passion is working with youth.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was doing. And so all of a sudden they handed me the script, and I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't know if you saw that last scene in Jerry Maguire, but it was.
I've watched it, but I don't know if I recall the last scene.
Well, I was lucky. I wasn't one of the ones who had to do the hard stuff. I was just the one doing the running. But those guys were getting pummeled, like getting knocked unconscious, and they, and so when I got down to the set Any Given Sunday, they wanted me to switch roles. I wasn't there to be the fast guy. I was there to be like, I was like, no, I enjoy running fast, and if I bust a knee on this movie set, it's not going to be worth it to me. And so I left, and I went and bought a computer. I wrote this program that I wanted to do. It was so I wrote the first ever independent living transitional housing program for youth in the state of Utah.
Yeah.
So the state opened me as a pilot program, and so that's what I was doing for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that one kind of led me. So that puts me back in the state of Utah. And we had the 2002 Winter Olympics around the corner, a couple of years. So NBC came around, and I was the fastest American athlete in the state. And they asked me to come for the tryout. And on that tryout, I set a new record. And this guy put his arm around me when I set this record. And he offered me $50,000 to race on his team for 3 months. And I was just so excited. I was like, okay, that's a little extra money. And but the truth was, he didn't have the money. And by the time I figured it out, I was already up there having fun and doing something different and exciting. And and 9 years later, I was still there.
So did it scare you going that fast? I mean, probably you start slowly and then work your way up. I don't know. I'm guessing. But I mean, like going downhill skiing is scary.
Yeah.
So going downhill in a bullet, it looks like a little bullet.
Yeah.
Super fast. I mean, that looks pretty scary too.
That's funny you say that, because no matter if you just nudge it off the hill, or if you shove it off the hill, run as fast as you can and push it, by the time you get to that bottom, you're going to be at maximum speeds. So there's no slow into this thing. only way to take it slow is to go halfway, put the sled halfway on the hill, halfway down the mountain, and then go down. But no, that's no. From the beginning, you going from the top of that hill, and there's 1,000 guys waiting to take my job. 1,000, literally 1,000. Yeah.
Wow. So what position were you in the
I'm usually
bobsled?
the guy all the way in the back, the brakeman. We call that.
And aren't you the one that has to push off too if you're the
We all
brakeman?
push. Even my driver's pushing.
Oh.
We're all pushing this thing together. But I'm usually the fast guy. You know, I'm usually the fast guy. Usually the more athletic guys
Yeah.
are in the back.
And so you must have
yeah.
enjoyed it if you spent 9 years doing that.
You know, it was something different. Like I was wanted to represent my country. Like I didn't go in the military like you guys did, and this was my way of being able to say I did represent my country. So yeah, I absolutely I loved it. I did love it. I didn't like the politics of it, but
that's awesome. So you went and you spent 9 years doing this, and then what did you find after you spent your 9 years? What happened after the Olympics were over and after the bobsledding?
Well, actually, my red flags started when I was still in the sport. I started having these little small panic attacks, which is weird. I didn't even know what a panic attack was.
Yeah.
But I didn't know where I was at. I would be sleeping and I would jump up and turn the lights on because I don't know where I'm at. And I was like, man, so I look at the pictures on the wall and it'll let me know kind of where I'm at. Like if I'm in Europe, they always got those creepy pictures on the wall with the eyes follow you. So I know I'm in Europe when I see those, vice versa. So, and so when I rationalized it, I was like, you know what, I represent my country. Every 7 days I'm in a new country. And so I just don't know where I'm at because,
you're traveling.
Like who gets to say they get to do that,
Right.
But the truth was that was just the first red flag. Yeah. And I think the second one that really got me is I hadn't seen some of my friends in a while. So we went to go shoot some pool and so we were hanging out and my buddy said, hey, there's your girlfriend right there. And I looked at her and I was like, she's pretty, but I don't. And evidently I knew her, but I just couldn't remember her. But, you were young, we're stupid athletes. And I'm thinking, oh, you know what? I got muscles. The ladies love me. We all had that stupid mentality. And I was no different. And I was thinking the same thing. But the truth was I wasn't recognizing familiar faces anymore.
Wow.
And I'm still racing. I still have like 3 or 4 more years to go. So put more damage. I left the sport. I moved back to LA. Well, I moved to LA. And people ask me, how old are you? I was actually 36 after my last race. I turned 37 this summer.
Mm-hmm.
So I was around 38, 39. People ask me how old I am. I automatically say 28. And I wasn't lying or anything. I wasn't trying to be deceptive. And then I'm walking away and thinking, 28, when I started this sport, like, I started doing the math all the time. Like, oh my God, I'm 40. Like, I lost a lot of years. But I just didn't connect the dots at the time. I didn't figure it out until a little bit later what was going on.
Yeah. How did you eventually put all the pieces together and connect all the dots about all the different symptoms you were having? And what is it that you have? Because I know that some people would understand what you have, but can you kind of explain maybe how the bobsledding contributed to what's going on now for you and kind of really where you were at and how you knew you needed some kind of help?
Okay, one of the conditions that I still have, it's really hard for me to take many questions at once.
All right.
I'm going to answer one, and then if I start asking, I'll be all over the place, and you'll be like, that is not what I asked him. So if you give me one simple at a time, and this is my last glitch I have left. If I can figure this one out, I'll be back like normal, but I don't. So
how did you put all the dots together to know you had some kind of problem?
One of my teammates called me. Like I just mentioned the movie stuff. So when I moved to LA, one of my friends probably wanted to be a writer. Yeah. So he would call me with these crazy stories, things I've never heard before. and I would help him kind of tweak it so he can make a movie out of it. And so, we're talking about him, and man, this guy is brilliant. Like, and my business partner at the time, he was a producer for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I'm ready to set the meetings and everything. Like, I was excited about this thing.
Right.
And but the very last time he called me, he was speaking gibberish, right? And I kept asking him, like, what are you saying? He was he sounded kind of like, and he got so frustrated, he hung up the phone. And because mental health is my background, like, I kept saying, I got to help this guy. I got to help him. And I didn't do anything to help him, to be honest. I talked about it every day to myself because nobody was around me. I was alone.
Yeah.
And then eventually I got a word that he went to his family's factory and he hung himself.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And so that's part of the story. The other part of that story is I was struggling so bad at one point, and I thought it was diabetes. So what I did, before I went to bed every night, I would put a thermos full of coffee on my night, and so I put them in there. And in the morning when I wake up, this is what I was dealing with. I would take the sip of the coffee, whatever, and then I had a little daily planner I kept on the bed, nightstand. And I had to figure out if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Every day I woke up, I knew I didn't really know the day. I finally had figured that part out.
Wow.
And then once I figured out what day it is, I had to figure out what month we're in. I was stuck in this little loop where I thought it was January or August all the time. Every day, the same thing. It's like that movie Groundhog Day.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
So I was like, so that's what I was doing. So at one point, I knew I was in trouble. Like, I just was depressed. Like, I guess I was depressed. I didn't know I was even depressed then. I was just tired. And I was actually living on the floor of my own apartment at the time. I took the bed out of the kitchen and the bathroom and the front door. So that's where I was living at. And so eventually I went back home to see my family in Missouri, and I bought a small little tiny lake house over there, right? And it was my death house. I knew I didn't have much time because I couldn't take my life, but I could pray for death. I was praying for death every day. That was my thing. Just please, God, I can't not another day like this. So I get this place over there, and so when I'm normally my normal, so I just kind of had enough.
Wow.
Teammates are already. I found out about 4 or 5 suicides already. Some people have Parkinson's, dementia. I'm still not knowing it's related to me. That's how crazy this is. I still hadn't connected the dots.
Yeah.
So I got the lake house. I got that. So I come back to LA. I get rid of my apartment. I had a young lady I was dating at the time. Well, actually, we still seeing each other now, and she played a big part in this thing here. And so I got rid of my apartment. I'm staying with her, and she's on the phone with her family every day, and they talk really loud. Like, it was killing me. Like, I was just like, I can't. We need to figure out, do something different, And I said, who am I to tell you to be quiet in your own apartment, Yeah. So I'm really judging myself at this point. So I get back to the lake house. When I'm there, this article shows up called Sledhead, written by the New York Times. And that article, it literally, it talked about my teammates, the suicides. It talked about the Parkinson's and the seizures. It talked about a whole lot of different medical stuff going on. So I was like, wow. I get on my knees and I thank God. I said, all these symptoms miss me. All of them. Like, I got diabetes. That's what this is. I have to be diabetes. Meanwhile, my doctor telling me, you don't have diabetes. But I'm like, this for 10 years, I'm thinking I got diabetes. Like, so I'm sitting over here with this letter. The first thing I noticed was noise sensitivity. It was the reason I was over there in the first place. And at the same time, Pavle's autopsy report came out about that time. He was in stage 4 of CTE. And then I went, and I went down that list and I checked every box except Parkinson's.
Wow.
Now this thing had a name. Now I knew what it was. Now there was no more denial from me.
Yeah.
Like, and I wasn't even in denial. I just couldn't connect the dots. It's like, it's such a weird thing. And that's how everything came forward. it. And so I started calling teammates. And they all told me the same thing. Oh, no, all the symptoms miss me. Now all of a sudden, they all telling me bizarre stuff. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. I say, take this article, share it with your loved ones. So anybody listening to this who's dealing with this stuff, please hear my words. This is not something the veteran or the athlete's going to figure out himself. The loved ones, I told them to share it with your loved one. And if you feel the need to call me back, call me back. And every single time my phone was ringing off the hook. And yeah, for some reason we can't see it in ourselves. We can look at other people and judge them like, oh my God, look at what they're doing. But we can't see what we're doing. And at that time, like I felt so guilty about my friend probably because I didn't help him. But the truth was I couldn't help because I needed help. Like I was literally living on my own floor. And now that I think back, I'm thinking like, what? Like, how did I miss these? But yeah, that's how I figured it out. It was a lot of dot connecting. A lot of.
Oh my goodness. Well, I think we'll take a quick break if you don't mind, and we're going to play Joe Muse or Big Joe Muse. Spinning is the song, and we'll be right back with William.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
And we're back on the Tracer Rounds podcast on Military Broadcast Radio. And I have my guest, William Person, and he is a bobsledder from Team USA. He spent 9 years. And so we were just kind of going through what you found out after those 9 years of bobsledding, the after effects of all the, I guess I'd say trauma or everything you experienced, maybe a better way to say it. But you found out that it took a toll on you, and you found out it was CTE. And CTE is, I'm trying to find the acronym so that people, chronic traumatic encephalopathy. I think that's how you say
Encephalopathy.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Most
Yeah,
days I can't say that word, but today,
it's
yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
I'm glad you can. So it's a progressive brain disease caused by repeated head trauma, often from activities like contact sports, military service, or domestic abuse. And so
Wow. They actually include military in there now.
yeah, in the
I've been
definition.
fighting for that. I've been fighting for that for you guys for so long.
And we appreciate that,
Yeah.
believe me. And that's why you're on the show tonight. You kind of
Yeah.
want to show that there's a connection between what you've experienced
Yeah.
and what some of our military members experience. So can you talk a little bit about how you, you came to the realization you had CTE, and then you found, how did you find treatment, or how did you find that you could kind of heal the body, or what could heal the body?
But before I say that, first of all, I want to say that music. I was expecting drums and trumpets. That's real music. Like I was just blown. I'm so sorry. I wanted to say that. I've been holding that for the last 5 minutes, but
Oh.
yeah, I was expecting trumpets and no, that's real music. That was real good music.
Yeah, he's really good. He's a friend of
Yeah.
mine, and he's about 6'6", and he's really big, and that's why his name is Big Joe Muse.
Oh, got it. Yeah, for me, what really saved me was Joe Namath. Like, if you look at all my social media, I don't care what interview I give. See, there's a lot of people I've been helping since I figured this thing out, and I've been helping connect the dots. But I don't take the credit. I can't, man. Joe Namath saved my life forever. Like, I did an interview 2 weeks ago, and I thought I was done with this. Usually, when I hear Joe Namath's name, man, them tears just going.
Oh.
I'm just like. So I thought I was done with that, but the other day I got blindsided. Somebody said Joe Namath, and then went, I was all over again. But yeah, he put some videos out, guys, and it said that he reversed his CTE symptoms by using hyperbaric oxygen. And first of all, if you research CTE, it's brutal. It's so progressive. Like mine started with random days of cloudiness, and then it switched over to like random days of clarity, and it was so slow. You never see it coming.
Yeah.
That's why you see people going to them really dark holes. They don't even know they're in those dark holes. They just kind of surviving. Yeah, but Joe Namath said he reversed his, and I didn't think it was going to work.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Is this a PG-13 or is this adult? What do you?
Well, it goes to Reese Across America, so if we use language, they
No, it's
mute
not
it.
language.
They mute it, but no, but you can say whatever you need to say for sure.
Okay. So I didn't think it was going to work because if you look up everything, it's gruesome. It's just this person killed this person or they killed themselves, whether it's an athlete or military. And also, if you look at all the military suicides, it would make sense. They line up with the athlete suicides. That's one thing I want to say. So I didn't think it was going to work. So I go to this place. I'm a U.S. athlete. So they say, hey, we'll let you use it for free. So I go into this place in California, and I'm in this chamber for about an hour. And when I come out, like it's like I'm walking around in 3D. I don't like all the colors are so vivid. So I think I hadn't been seeing colors for a while. I'm not quite sure about that. Yeah, and so my glasses are slightly tinted because I'm sensitive to sound, smells, and sound, smells, and bright stuff like that. Just drive me nuts. My senses are on the go. So I get out the chamber, I grab my glasses to put them on, and I keep taking them on and off. And so the salesman comes over and he was like, "What's wrong?" And I said, "Well, I don't think I need my glasses right now." And he's like, "Oh, you're one of those." And I'm thinking, okay, come that salesman. He's going to try to sell me this $25,000 machine I can't afford because I just bought this house. So, but he was right. Some people get immediate relief, and some people need like 30 days of treatment. And really, the machine is this thing that's sitting behind me back here. I have one in my house now.
Yeah.
So it's really that simple. So you go in for an hour. I usually take a nap. You wake up, it's over. And
Wow.
so I get home, and this is where the PG-13 comes in. I'm sitting on the couch watching TV. I fall asleep. I wake up. I think it was around, maybe I fell asleep about 9 o'clock or something. I'm not quite sure, but I wake up. I know it's around midnight, and I have this migraine. Right, I got one of the worst migraines, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this machine did more damage because my migraines are back. But at the same time, I had the migraine. I had an erection. That's the PG-13 part I was mentioning.
Okay.
So, yeah, them two things that don't go together. They do
Yeah.
not. I never ever says, I got a migraine. Let's make love. That just doesn't work.
Right.
So yeah, and that's what happened. And so that was around midnight. I went, got back into bed. I woke up in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, and that migraine had subsided. I could still feel where it was at though, but it was, subsided.
Yeah.
That erection was still there. It was like 10 hours. Like it was weird.
Wow.
And yeah, but over the next few hours, my cloudiness that I had for like 15 years was gone. And it started after 6 days, it started to wear off. So they told me to come back in. And then the next time it lasted about 9 days. And so I found something that wasn't a placebo. It wasn't something I just wanted to work because I didn't think it was going to work. And it changed my life. And yeah, and so I've been an advocate of it ever since. And I found out that there's so many pockets of people around here getting help with it, including military, first responders, but not everybody's talking about it. If you don't know somebody, you're not going to know about it. Like they're just going to let you keep suffering in silence because people aren't talking enough. And
Right.
so, yeah, so that's when I began talking, like, and here I am. But there is a huge connection. There is a huge connection. Because I remember there was a time we do this thing called forerunning where we take people we call it VIP rides.
Mm-hmm.
So one time we took some fighter pilots down the bobsled track. They're the only ones on the planet who experience the same G-forces like us. When they're flying and they do the bank turns.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what the bobsled does. So it's reported that we're doing five Gs maximum. And so according to the New York Times article, they tested the track in Canada. There were spikes of 84.5 G-forces.
Wow.
And that's why our brains are like mush. But when we took the fighter pilots down, I did 6 rides that day. And they did 1, and they were rattled. And I couldn't, it just sat with me all the years. It's like, how could they, like, they're the best of the best. You guys are the best of the best. Like, how could they be rattled? Like, I said, maybe I need to be a fighter pilot. Like,
Right.
I started getting a little confidence in my chest. But no, it's, so fast forward. As I filed a class action, I asked for medical help for everybody. That's one thing I requested. The other thing was to, I'm not sure if we discussed that part yet, but also requested to warn the new generation before they start the sport. And so when we got to that point where as I'm just kind of seeing everything, an article shows up last December. It was written by Matthew somebody? No, that's not true. David. I don't know, it's a New York Times article, but it's about the pilots.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the exact same symptoms as the bobsledders: suicides, Parkinson's, depression, dementia. It's all the same stuff. And so I believe it's the G-forces that's playing a big role in this. And I think I did a disservice to you guys because when I went to court, I started trying to show this stuff to my lawyers and the judges.
Yeah.
And then it disappeared. Like if you go look for that article, you won't find it. But I have a live link. I'll share it with you because I went straight to the people who wrote it and they gave me a live link.
Yeah.
And I just want to make sure I get that word out to the people who needs to hear it because it's you guys, it's your people. And if my court case caused it to go away, I don't want to be responsible for more deaths. I feel like, I just don't want that guilt on me. So I'm just trying to make sure we get the information where it belongs.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really glad. I'm glad that you're finding out all this information, and I'm glad that you're sharing it with others to kind of understand what's happening. Because, like you said, you don't realize what's going on with yourself. You think, "Oh no, I'm fine," and others see you doing things that don't seem normal or don't sound normal, and they're thinking to themselves, what's going on with this person? And you're thinking you're completely fine. And so you have these symptoms and you're not even aware of them in its entirety. I mean, you may be aware of some things that are going on with you, but not the totality of all the different things that are going on and what they really mean. So, for
Yeah.
you to have that realization, then to understand what's going on and then sharing it with others so that they can come to that understanding too. And I love that you said, read this article, have your family members read it and see if that resonates with anything that's going on with you personally. And, 9 times out of 10, if there is that situation, they're going to be able to say, yep, check some boxes and say, yeah, this is what's
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah, matter of fact, as you get older, you're going to start noticing. I've been connecting these dots for so long. I'm watching everybody.
Right.
Like they'll start saying it's all the same stuff. Like this person was acting out of character. They weren't acting like themselves. They were a gentle giant. We're hearing the same stories over and over, whether it's NFL or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just, but nobody's taking the time to check on these people. Matter of fact, that one gentleman, what was his name? I just finished reading about him today. He's a football player, played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He died in police custody last week. Oh
Oh
my
my
God.
goodness.
Oh man, how can I just forget his name like that? But that's part of I forget a lot of things as well too. But
Yeah.
Doug Martin, I'm sorry. Yeah, Doug Martin. Sorry about that. But yeah, he was doing things out of his character. He was in treatment facilities and dealing with drug issues. And because one thing about this, the self-medicating, see, CTE, it's going to get you eventually, is if you don't do something about it. But it's the things that we do to kind of take that pain off. Like if you drink with it, it's going to probably take you out. That's what's going to get you. If you're doing cocaine or heavy drugs, that's definitely going to take you out.
Yeah.
And so, but it's the same thing. It's like a loop now. Like I can look at a player doing something weird on the field, and I can predict where he's going to be at in 5 years. It's really that simple.
Wow.
But instead of us doing that as a community, we're judging him like Antonio Brown. We watched him walk off with Tom Brady, and everybody's like, I knew right then he's compromised. Now he's been in so much legal trouble every year. Something new. People just don't become criminals overnight. These are millionaires. Why all of a sudden now they're criminals?
Right.
Doug Martin left his family's home, went 2 doors down, and broke into a neighbor's house. He's still rich. He didn't need money. He was
Right.
confused, lost, and just, yeah. And so, yeah, we just need to, like I said, get ahead of this thing and just really like check on your loved ones. If your loved ones have had a concussion, they had maybe a bad car accident. I've seen it in the young ladies who's a housewife who had domestic violence, who she might have been hit in the head or something. And one time I met a young lady, she was on the way to the doctor. She told me the doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. And she told me what her symptoms were. And they lined up with mine. I was like, wow, were you an athlete? She was like, no. Did you, you had a divorce, but did he hit you? She's like, no, never. I said, wow, that's weird. I said, you never fell? She was like, no. And then she said, one time she took her son snowboarding. And she said she fell and her arm seized up like that. Like you said, those boxers, when they get knocked out and their arms that is a
Mhm.
sign. That's one of the signs. If you have to, but this is one thing I realized. Every injury I've ever had as an athlete, and any injury you probably ever have, anybody listening to this, when you pull a hamstring, this is simple. Let's say you pull a hamstring, right?
Mhm.
First thing they do, you put ice on it, right? And then once that calms down after 72 hours, they give you a heat pack. And then they start to give you like ice, stim, electrical stimulation. They do ultrasound. And then at the last minute, right before you're about to get healthy, you got scar tissue in there, right? They got to get that information out. They give you this white rag at the Olympic Training Center. They tell you to bite. You know what's going to happen. They're going to tell you to bite it. And they're going to go in with that elbow and they're going to just dig in there and they're going to break that scar tissue up, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So for everybody who's ever had a concussion, think about this. The only thing they usually ever tell us is don't go to sleep for 3 hours. My first World Cup
True.
crash was in St. Moritz, Switzerland. The guy sitting behind me that day, it was my first World Cup crash. he was knocked unconscious. And so as we're getting off the ice, I remember these paramedics coming up and just grabbing me. I'm carrying everybody's helmets. I'm thinking I'm the only one that's okay. And I'm trying to think, why are these strangers grabbing me? I'm like, just like, stop that, And then, the Prince of Monaco, Prince Albert, you know who that is?
Yeah.
He walks over to me and he winks at me. Now, I'm from LA. I have a lot of friends that are gay. It's just, just a thing.
Yeah.
It's just whether you're gay or not, there's a lot of gay people around. So when he winked at me, I was so concussed that I was like, oh my God, I didn't know Prince Albert had a crush on me. That's what my brain told me. And for years, I thought Prince Albert had a crush on me. But matter of fact, I said, well, I'll just make sure I don't isolate with him. I don't want to lead him on, But no, man, I wasn't thinking straight.
Yeah.
So they sent us back to the hotel and they tell me and this guy who just got knocked unconscious to watch each other so we don't go to sleep. Like, I had vertigo. I couldn't sit up in the bed without the room spinning, and he was unconscious. So who was supposed to watch you is the question. And that's the only treatment I've ever had after hundreds of bobsled rides. I don't know how many concussions I've ever had. I don't know. Yeah. And so that leads me to this. If every other body part that gets an injury has a treatment plan, but there wasn't one for the brain. And so I think what happened when I got in that chamber, the brain's the same as the rest of the muscles. When you injure it, all the fluids just go there to protect it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we just talked about removing it from the hamstring by icing it, electric stimulation, ultrasound, and then the elbow. We massage it out.
Mm-hmm.
How do we get it out of the brain? We don't. We just let it sit there. And so I think it was when I got in that chamber that day, and for 1 hour, it cleared up my cloudiness I had for 15 years. It was gone. And I was like, oh my God, what is this place?
Right.
And it's really that simple. So right now, like I'm doing my best. I want to open up a CTE wellness center for the veterans and for athletes. And like I can be open today, be very honest. I can open today. But these investors, they want money. And that's not what my agenda is. My agenda is it has to be for free, 100% free. No, I don't want outside money coming in. I don't want people to come back and give the families a bill. I don't want people to say, hey, you know what? This is expensive. So I think I'm going to stay home and just stay where I'm at. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's just opening this facility is for you guys, for the athletes who can afford, like the big NFL guys who got the big contracts, they can, most of these guys have those things in their own home. They know what to do now.
Yeah.
But for the ones that suffering, you guys all need help. We all need help. I was there. And so my thing is I don't want it tainted. This is a not-for-profit. It's going to be not-for-profit 100%. And free treatment. You will not get a bill. And I promise you, you'll know, some of you, it might be 1 hour, and some of you, it might be 30 days. But for me, it was 1 hour, and it was so simple. I'm sorry, my girlfriend's chihuahua's in the back. I don't figure it in.
It's fine.
She just came home. They
It's-
don't like me, just so you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you were talking about before the show, we were kind of talking about military and others too, football and other athletes that have some kind of traumatic injury. And a lot of it is misdiagnosed as TBIs or PTSD or something like that, when in fact they have CTE. Do they know how to tell the difference now? Is there a way to tell the difference between what it is and so that they can treat it right? Or is all the treatment plans the same that you know of, that it's either, no matter which one you have, that the hyperbaric chamber will help?
Well, outside of what we're doing, there is no treatment plan. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't really tried to treat anyone. There's agencies out here, like one that's designed for you guys. You can feel free to reach out to these people. It's called treatnow.org. That's for military only. And they're working on getting legislation out there so that insurance will pay for hyperbaric treatments. The problem is insurance won't pay for this thing. And they only pay for hyperbaric for certain things. And this one is not one of them. And I don't quite know You know, they'll give you the pills all day, but they won't put you in something that won't have you dependent. Like I don't take any pills anymore. There's nothing. Like I just get in that chamber and I get out and I'm like, you know, it's really that simple.
Wow.
But I tell you the best way to figure it out is to get in the chamber, whether it's with me or with anybody. They're in your communities. Maybe you can afford it. It might cost you maybe around $200 an hour. It should be the maximum amount I've seen. But type in hyperbaric oxygen or HBOT near me, and people have them. Some people have them in their houses for you to come in and try them.
Wow.
But they're going to charge you $200 so you can come in that door. And so,
Right.
but if you go once, you're probably going to need 30 days of that. And so that's what I'm trying to provide is that 30 days. So get people back
Wow.
on their feet. Yeah.
So if you do 30 days and then, so would you have to go back every so often or just when you feel like you need a little bit of boost or some clarity? How would you tell, or do you know how to tell when you need more of that treatment?
Well, the good thing about this is it's going to bring you back to a baseline where you can function again and you're going to be able to tell.
Yeah.
Your family's going to be able to tell. But first of all, you're going to know now because when I start getting a little bit off, I know 3 days ahead of time and I know what to do. Yeah,
That's good.
it's yeah. Matter of fact, the company who makes these things, Oxy Health, those the ones who let me try for free the first time. And I don't have a deal with them guys. Matter of fact, the chamber I have is not even an Oxy Health chamber. I don't have a endorsement deal with anybody. I don't get them for free. I don't nothing like that.
Yeah.
But they call me the Peter Parker because of that glasses situation. Like they tell my story to a lot of people. They
Yeah.
call me, it's called the Peter Parker. When you hear about the Peter Parker guy, I'm the guy they're talking about. So yeah, but really I promise you, it'll give you a baseline where you won't be on that ground. You won't be in that darkness. It'll just start to feed your brain again. And man, like for me, just to be able to see colors and man, just to enjoy life again. It's just yeah, the rest of my life here is dedicated to doing this. Matter of fact,
Yeah.
I closed my youth treatment facility after my second year on Team USA because here I am telling all my kids, you know, dream big, go for your goals, and here I am sitting back and racing part time because I didn't want to close down my program, and because sometimes I would call back and my business partners wouldn't answer the phone, so I wasn't going to sacrifice any young men in my program. So eventually
Mm.
we closed, and you know, I went on that journey, and so here I am. I said I'm going to reopen again when I leave Team USA, which was like 7 years after that. And I didn't feel like having my phone ringing all day. Back then I had a pager,
Yeah.
you know, a cell phone and an office phone and a home phone always ringing. And
Right.
so my treatment stuff went from that to this now. And so it's just kind of and this is much simpler. This is so much simpler than dealing with, you know, conduct disorder teenagers. So yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So how can someone help you? I know I've got your GoFundMe here. How else can they help you? How can they spread the word, or what kind of help do you need? How can someone assist in this effort?
Right at this point, it's really about resources. I already have the properties and stuff picked out in the Midwest. My dad has a roofing company. He just retired a couple of years ago. He was about to sell a building. And when this came up, I was like, oh, wait a minute, Dad, hold up, time out. Don't sell it just yet. Give me a minute. I'm about to build it myself and donate it. And then I need the money to build the property out, like build it into, because it was a roofing company, but
Mhm.
it's such a big building. It's like, it's got 3 addresses on it.
Oh,
So I
wow.
can even have people come in. You can come in and stay if I need you to stay for 30 days. It's going to be, or I got another place a little bit further out. It's the little lake house that I bought. Like all this is going to the cause. Like I live in California. I'm going to go back and just throw everything at it really soon. And yeah, just help me spread the word. If people need help, reach out. And worst case scenarios, find my TikTok channel, guys. I teach people how to live with CTE symptoms. And trust me, you won't ever find out you have it until they go and slice our brain open and see. But if you have those symptoms, there's no mistaking what they are. Please just have your loved ones research it. If you were a military guy around compression blasts, shooting the big military stuff, I'll guarantee it. You're dealing with some stuff. You have to be because it's just our brains. It's what it is. It's those waves, the pressure compression waves that makes you like if you ever shot a gun and that pressure hits you in the face, you're
Yeah.
dealing with it probably. If you're dealing with some depression and all of that stuff, it's what it is. It's what it is. So find me. I'll help you guys get through it. I don't charge any money for doing any of that. It's just I'm just talking you through it, and it's just really simple. Share my GoFundMe. Like when I get that thing up, the chambers are expensive. They're $50,000 each.
Oh, wow.
You know, yeah, they're very expensive. The one I have back here, this one was 20. And this is the one for my home. It's a small one, and
Yeah.
I just need help buying the equipment. And once we get the equipment, we'll open those doors as quick as we can, and the rest is history. And we won't have investors, so they can come back later and be like, hey, now we're going to charge these guys. Like everybody I've spoken to so far, like I could be open today, but they want to put that dollar on it. And it's like, this is not about capitalism. It's not about, making that money. I don't care about that. It's not important to me. My biggest thing I like doing is walking from my back door to I got a little pond in the backyard, little lake, throw my fishing pole out in the water. This is all I really need. But
Right.
now I'm trying to save lives and then also like as like I think we talked about it earlier about the military mass shootings and stuff happening.
Yeah.
Like I put out a video on TikTok the day we had the New York CTE suicide shooter. My phone was ringing like crazy. My social media was going crazy. So I put out a video and I told everybody, I said, we're watching our athletes do these type of things. I said, however, the population I'm more concerned about are our veterans because, first of all, they're taking their lives too, but the ones who aren't are the ones who, if they have that CTE, if they have those command voices, my command voices for me when I was struggling was, you can't keep living like this. It's time to go. How can you live another life like this? Can you just end it now and be done with it? But you guys, some of you guys are the best trained killers in the world. This is really what it is. I don't want to candy coat it too much, but you guys are trained to do this. And so when that brain switches off, man, you guys just need the help because the video I put out, go back and check it. I put it out that day of the New York shooters. And I said, there's going to be a wave of military mass shooters coming. So I said it that day on video. I told it to the judge the next day. And I said on the courthouse steps, the same thing. And then 4 or 5 days later, the guy in Anaconda, Montana, veteran, he shot up the bar, killed 4 people, I believe. And it was hiding in the woods. They couldn't find him for a week. The following week, we had another veteran. No, I'm sorry, active military. He went on one of the bases. I don't know which one. He shot the base up. I'm sure you guys know which one it is. And then 2 weeks ago, we had another veteran go into a Mormon church. It was a Mormon church up in Minnesota. He burned one part of the church. He went to the other one and started shooting. So when they stopped him, they were still trying to figure out where 4 or 5 people were missing. And so I say that to say this, everybody needs help. And this thing is really about getting everybody help. You guys think wasn't no American heroes to come back and start terrorizing us. Like, that's not what this is. I know what this is because I laid on the floor. Like, and it's brutal too. Like, I literally took the bed and put it in the living room and like I couldn't get to the bathroom. Like, my bathroom was a jar with a lid on it. Like, it's that bad.
Wow.
And when you get there, like nobody can tell you anything because you're really in survival mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if it wasn't a DoorDash, like I was literally barely crawling that door to get the DoorDash. Like it was like, and a lot of us, and eventually you guys start to, not you guys, I mean, I don't want to point no finger. Let me just rephrase that. We start to alienate the people around us because we're not acting normal like ourselves. And so you see the divorce rates start going up. You see these veterans coming back and living alone. So if you look at the last, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 suicides from NFL, they're all living away from their families. And the ones that were still living at home were living in a back room, quiet somewhere. And the families were saying the same thing. They just weren't being themselves, And so I'm just saying, guys, we all need the help. We know what this is now. It's nothing to dispute. The help is out there, and it's so simple.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's just do it and move forward. And I'm dedicated to providing that service. And like I said, it has to be for free, and I won't have it any other way.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's just amazing. That you're able to watch that and see that and know that. And so if more people were trained to spot those symptoms and could, really dial in all of the things that are going on and really get that person to the right resource to help them, we could stop a lot of this. But without really having those skills to know what that looks like, what CTE looks like, or even PTSD for that matter, or TBI, and we don't really know how to help it sometimes. And if we were able to spot the signs when somebody was really going down that dark path like you were talking about, and then we could get them to that resource to help them, we wouldn't be having a lot of what's going on right now. So I think you putting this out there is going to educate so many people and help so many people that just really had no clue what was happening.
thank you. But I tell you one thing that's even more crazier. Like the first job I took out of college, I think we talk about this offline. It was at San Joaquin County Mental Health Department. It was the first mental health facility west of the Mississippi River. And so when I was like 23, I was watching these people with like depression and bipolar, schizophrenia, and we had some people come through there. They had criminally insane, and then we still had the people walking around back then who had lobotomies. So I, as a young person, like I learned with the watching the extreme mental health stuff. And the crazy part is, even with me knowing that, seeing that, you heard my story. I didn't connect the dots. This article came out and it perfectly diagnosed me, and I still denied it and told my girlfriend, "Oh no, everything missed me." And thank God that I had the symptoms I had, because I don't know, it wasn't what they have. I got something different. No, you're not. Nobody's trained to deal with this, to see this
Right.
on themselves, and so
Yeah.
don't blame yourself. But if your loved one is doing something, this is the key thing right here: is acting out of character. That's the only thing you need to know. Acting out of character. Now they used to do this, now they're doing this. Now they're
Yeah.
drinking a lot, or there's something, whatever is out of character, it's gonna look different in different people. That's the sign. That's the only sign you need to recognize. Acting out
Yeah.
of character. Nothing else you need to know about. Acting out of character. Just let that one sink in. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good advice, because like you say, a lot of when they go to talk to neighbors, well, he's such a nice guy. And I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Just one day he just flipped a switch. I don't know. So, that like what you're saying is very relevant and valid. If they're acting in a certain way that isn't typical for them,
Yeah.
that's when you need to be concerned and worried and try to get that person to some kind of resource, or have that person, the family around them, get them to a resource. We just have
Yeah.
a few minutes left. Is there anything else you want to put out? I mean, I know you've already said a lot and
Yeah.
you've already put out a lot of information. Is there any final closing thoughts you have?
Yeah. First of all, the one thing is that article that disappeared. I don't want to blame the military for that. I think my court case might have caused that to happen. So I'm not trying to say it was a military trying to cover up. That's not that type of thing. I don't know. I don't know, but I don't think so. I think I caused that. That's I want to make sure I put that out there. I don't want to make any more enemies than I have right now. So, but if you guys need help, find me. I'll teach you how to live with this thing. It's not that difficult. I mean, it's not that difficult to put things in place for yourself.
Right. To be
Yeah,
successful and kind of get yourself back to some sense of normal.
it's just the routines. You got to fix the routines. And once
Right.
you figure out your routine, you should stick to it. But you
Right.
said it. Everybody says it all the time. They were acting normal, and then all of a sudden they weren't acting like themselves. And it's so slow. Like my random days of cloudiness, it slowly turned into random days of clarity. It was so slow. I never saw it coming until I
Yeah.
couldn't get up off that ground anymore.
Wow.
Yeah,
That,
yeah,
and from such a strong person, an athlete who's trained and who's, done everything you've done to get to that point where you can't even pick yourself up without, being dizzy or unable to walk or any of that. I mean, it's just amazing what
yeah,
that CTE did to you and did, um, to your life, really, because you weren't able to really function anymore. And so,
Yeah.
getting that treatment really puts you back in a good space, and now you can function. I wouldn't say completely, but like you did
Yeah.
before, but pretty darn close. I mean, closer than you were before, I guess.
Oh yeah. 2 years ago, I could barely form sentences. Like it's oh, and other thing, if you look at my old pictures,
Yeah.
when I started this journey, I was bald. I don't know if the machine grew my hair. I was
Wow.
yeah, I was bald, guys. Like, look at my old pictures. I didn't have hair.
Oh
Like,
my goodness.
yeah, and I thought it was about gone. And I was like, okay, I just keep buzzing it because it's almost gone anyway. But yeah, now it's yeah. People tease me online. They were like, "Is that guy wearing a wig?" But that's the biggest compliment they could ever give me. They try to insult me, but I'm like, "Thank you."
Right. Well, it's been a pleasure talking with you, and I'm so glad you shared your story and your message, because I know you're going to help so many people, and I'm wishing you every success with this new mission that you've set in place and set in motion. And I'm just hoping that everyone will just jump on the GoFundMe bandwagon to help you out and get this process started for healing of veterans, and for the athletes that suffer through all this as well.
Yeah, but there are paying places you can go and pay, guys. But that's not what we're trying to do here. So find me, please.
Well, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you. All right. Tracer Rounds out.
Justice Jackson, they captured Herman Goring alive.
Tell me about him.
He's the face of the Nazis. I'm gonna put Goering on trial.
Edward escapes the hangman's noose. Very sure of yourself.
No man has ever beaten me.
Goering has to fall.
You don't just have to win, you have to be flawless.
You're walking into a trap.
Knowing what we know now, would you still follow Adolf Hitler?
Nuremberg, rated PG-13, opens November 7th, only in theaters.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.